Guys, just like that, I'm back with a portable Clint. Guys, I got somebody here. I'm on location today because I went to him because I love this guy so much. All right, guys, here's the deal. When I first knew about this guy, I was jealous of him because I thought he was funnier than me and he's better looking than me. But once I started talking to him, it was all beautiful. I love this dude. Ladies and gentlemen, NEE. What? Look at the hat, dude.
You got the matching hat.
Yes.
You know what? I feel like your hat is cooler though, so I'm gonna go.
No.
I'm just gonna hold a guitar and maybe like put a Hudson blanket over
Please.
my shoulder.
Okay.
Just something.
Well, let me tell you something. Will you look down a little bit so they can see the hat? Because yours is way cooler than mine. Look at the way you do the flip on it.
Oh, you know, this is a really lucky find. I got this at the Rose Bowl because I have like 3 foreheads.
Yeah.
And so I was getting a real good burn and found it.
Well, you don't have 3, 4, dude. You look beautiful on that thing, dude. Beautiful. Okay, NEE. First of all, dude. Okay, look at this coffee he prepared for us, espresso. All right.
You know, some people say it's rude to interrupt, but I'm
Sure.
interrupt you for a
Please.
second.
This is what we do here.
I just want to say, Clint,
Please.
that you are one of these rare gems on this earth where we haven't spent much time together.
No, not
We've had a
enough.
couple of beautiful moments with Art of Elysium, but you are one of these people that as soon as I met you, I just feel so warm and welcome, and it's a beautiful thing that you can't fake. And I appreciate it.
Well, dude, I appreciate you. And like I said, when I first met you, everybody, like my wife came home and go, man, there's this new volunteer. He is so funny. And I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, he's so funny, Clint. He's the funniest guy I've ever met. I go, wait, what?
What?
Yeah, so I was like...
He's funnier than you, Clint.
Yeah.
Clint,
well,
he's better than you.
That's basically what she said without saying it. But then I met you on the set of Drunk History.
Oh, right. I forgot we did that. That's right.
Yeah.
And you had your kids there.
I had my kids there. They were filming.
That's right.
Okay, Adam, let's back up. Okay?
All right.
Tell me, when and why did you start thinking about coming to Hollywood, California?
Well, you know, I started thinking about it in high school, and I'm from a huge family. I'm one of 9 kids. And for some reason, my parents were like pretty open with that, cool with that idea, but we were broke. We didn't have any money. I didn't have any money. So I had a friend who was moving to New York to write a novel. And he was going to work in the cooler at Gristedes on the Upper West Side.
Gristedes, what is that?
That's
I don't
a
know
grocery store in New York City.
Okay.
And he said, I've got this hostel. So if you want, just come and live with me and save money to move to LA. Come live in New York for a while. And so, you know, when you're a 20-year-old kid like from Orlando, Florida, you know, your sort of projection of what your life is going to be is such a funny thing where I was like, oh yeah, I'll go to New York. I'm going to be like the next James Dean meets Paul Thomas Anderson, which is like an easy mix. And it's all going to happen in a couple of years, and then I'll move to LA. It's going to be great. I'll move to LA famous, so it'll be good. I'll be done.
Yeah,
and,
convenient.
Yeah, it's so convenient. It's easier than people think.
Exactly.
I don't know why everyone doesn't do it. And so I moved to New York City, and he lived in this 10-foot by 7-foot hostel.
Okay.
And it was on the Upper West Side, and the place was a mixture of sort of like burnouts who maybe had been in mental hospitals but now were not, and then and European tourists. And so we would just sit in the lobby and write and talk to the people and like become friends with the tourists and go on adventures with these cool European folks who are visiting. And so that was life, was living in this 10 by 7 hostel in this crazy place. But so I slept on the floor and he slept on the bed, and we didn't have a bathroom or anything. So I would have to roll over so he could get out of the apartment in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom down the hall. So it was like the most squalorous beginnings. And I lived there for 2 years. Like
on the floor.
No, I moved to the bed after 10 months because he went packing back to Florida.
So, okay.
He wrote his book. It was a beautiful book. He couldn't get it published within 10 months, so he moved back home.
Was the book ever finished anyway?
Published?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. He was a really good writer, though. But
I can tell. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. But so I was there, and I was just now loving New York, and I loved this. Was the best time of my life.
You look like you would fit right in New York.
I love New York. I still sort of feel like that feels like home a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though I've been here for 400 years.
It's a long time.
Yeah, I'm older than you think. And so it was in there that I just kind of got used to being in New York and sort of felt like, oh, this is my home. And I was there for years and playing drug dealers on crime shows.
Okay, wait, no, hang on a second because I want to hear about that.
Okay.
So, how do you get into the business? How did you get your agent? Tell me about that.
Okay, so I had this scheme. Where when I moved to New York and I was like, I'm gonna sign with Philip Seymour Hoffman's agency because I thought he was the best actor, and so he must have the best agent too.
Sure.
Because that's how it works.
Yeah.
Other people don't tell you that. It's so much easier than people know.
Right.
It's the easiest business.
Yeah.
And so there was a modeling agency. I used to be handsome when I was young, and there was this modeling agency, please, where I went and tried to sign with them because they had a deal with Paradigm, which was Philip Seymour Hoffman's agency. So I went in with them, and they started representing me, and I said, I want to go meet with Paradigm. I'm an actor, and everyone's like, okay, that's cute. But I had acted in these short films back in Orlando, where I grew up with my brother and his girlfriend at the time, who's now his wife, and other film school students from the school I went to. And so I had these VHS tapes of 3 short films I had done. It was like an hour of short films.
Okay.
On a VHS tape. And so I got sent to meet with Paradigm's commercial division for toothpaste commercials.
Sure.
And so I went in there and I was like, I'm not a model, I'm an actor. Here's work I've done. And I hand over this VHS tape, and this woman just kind of laughs at me like, that's so sweet. You're such a sweet boy. I'm so glad to see someone who hasn't been crushed yet. And so I left, and she called me that night and was like, you should meet with the film people. And so she charmed you. She charmed her. Me.
Okay, but it was one of those things because she actually saw a sweet boy in New York City.
I guess. I mean, I think back on those times and the things I was this weird mix of totally naive and insecure, but so confident.
Yeah.
There's a weird thing.
Yep.
Like, I don't know if you've ever read the book Ask the Dust, but it's this character, Arturo Bandini, who sort of fits into that, where he just does these really bold things, but also seems sort of terrified.
I want to check this book out.
But I feel like I was a little bit like that, where I would just kind of show up to a place and, and ask for things.
Wow. Okay.
So that was the start of it, and they started sending me out. I remember my first audition ever, and just a disclaimer at the beginning here, I didn't make it as an actor.
Well, we'll see about that. We'll see about that.
I think my first audition was for there was 3 in 1 week. It was Tarzan, the television show.
Okay. Tarzan,
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
You were in that one?
No,
you auditioned. I got you.
I didn't make it.
I got you.
This ends up as a very sad story.
Okay.
And then
Sorry, I asked.
Troy. It goes really poorly.
Right.
And then they kicked me out of town, and I moved back to Orlando.
Okay.
Thanks for coming to Orlando. And
no. So when you went back to Orlando, when you went to New York, you wanted to make it as a star, as an actor.
Yeah.
So you didn't, supposedly.
Well, no, I mean, I was doing the thing then. Yeah. I mean, I was just like, so what would happen is I was so stupid, and what would happen is I would be broke. I would get a job working in a bar or a restaurant where I would bus tables or something, and then I would get a job on like a Law and Order playing a drug dealer or someone who kills his girlfriend or something.
So every
and then
time
I quit my job.
Okay, because you thought
because you thought
it's going to happen.
$2,000.
Right.
For a year.
Yeah, that's what happens to us. We get as soon as we get that job, we get kind of lazy, thinking, all right, it's about to happen now.
Yes.
Okay, so that happens how many times? How many jobs do you think you booked in New York?
Acting jobs?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe 8.
Okay, you book the 8, and then you go, okay, this isn't working out. I'm moving back home to Florida.
No, I wasn't actually moving back home. That was a joke.
That was a joke. Okay, I'm sorry.
Your wife was wrong.
I know.
I'm not as funny as you.
I know, guys.
Yeah.
Is your brother available?
Yeah, let me call him. He's waiting in the next room.
Thank you.
Aaron's always ready as a son.
Okay.
Do you want me to turn this AC on?
Yeah,
I just no. I'm going to turn the AC on. Listen.
All right, guys, I'm going to talk to you just for a sec, just so I can buy some time, because it got really hot. Guys,
It's gonna be.
Wait,
cool
he's
for the rest
back.
of
He's
the time.
back. I was going to tell you a little story
It's gonna
that
be
I
good
was
for the
not
rest of the
prepared
time.
for.
I just was worried about that breeze.
Yeah, dude, it feels so much better now,
Yeah.
man. I was getting hot and her.
Sorry.
Okay. Why and when did you move out to LA? Why did you give up on New York and come out to LA?
My brother and I made a movie in New York called The Last Romantic, and we made it for $18,000, and that was sort of the propulsion to Los Angeles because we got signed out of that.
Okay, now let's talk about you and your brother's connection, teaming up. How did that happen? I'm so jealous that you have somebody to go through this business with.
Yeah.
Because it's such a scary business by yourself. But if I had my brother out here, one of my brothers, I would be invincible. So tell me about that. How did that?
Have you ever tried to get one of your brothers?
No. They're doing great in Texas, so I
Okay.
can't do that.
All right. I mean, I have extros.
Do you really?
I have a huge family, so you can have one of my brothers.
Send them me their resume.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll trade numbers.
Okay. Good.
So Aaron and I, he's my older brother. We've done stuff since we were kids. You know, we shot a series of incredible movies when we were children. We shot a movie called Army when I was 9 years old.
Okay.
And that one was about a bunch of Army soldiers who had a battle the next day, and they were just doing target practice before the battle. And then the third act of the movie is the battle.
Okay.
I got cut from that film because I couldn't say my one line.
Your own film you got cut out of.
Yeah. Aaron was more or less running the show
Sure,
in these
okay,
years.
okay,
He was the older brother. We made a movie called No Man is a Killer, in which Aaron plays No Man and the bad guy. I think I was one of the Machine Gun Henchmen. These are all great films, but we were doing this kind of thing, you know, forever. And then when I hit about 16, I think we started to, he started to treat me like, oh, Adam's actually has interesting ideas, and so we started we made a short and just sort of started. It was always happening. We never made a decision and said, hey, let's be a directing team.
Really?
No, it just was always happening.
Okay, so you made the $18,000 film. People loved it. People liked it and said, hey, we want more of it. Come out to LA. How did that work out?
We made that movie in 2004, which was right after there was sort of this wave where Gary Winnick was like making movies that were selling at Sundance for like millions of dollars, even though they were like $200,000 movies. Yeah. Like Tadpole. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, I remember.
Tadpole.
Yes, I remember something about that.
So Tadpole, that was happening. We were like, let's do that. That's, because people just don't know how easy it is.
I know, it's so easy, Hollywood.
Easy. And so we made The Last Romantic, and it was me and actors I had met from working in New York, and Aaron flew out and started shooting the next day, so there was like no prep. We stole all of our locations, subways, everything.
I'm always jealous when people do stuff like that. Go ahead.
I feel like it's easier to do when you're 22 and you're just kind of like, people come out and yell at you and kick you out and you're like, what, okay, and you know, you kind of flop around and go to the next restaurant and start shooting in there.
Right.
And so we did that, and then it took a long time to edit. It took a long time to get right, and we didn't get into Sundance or any of the big ones. And then South by, when they were sort of young, they invited us. A guy named Matt Dentler, who
out of Austin, Texas, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And they were amazing, and so they really started our careers in a big way, because we went to South by, and it was the festival was getting bigger, but an agent from William Morris watched our movie and he wanted to sign us and was trying to get us to go to LA, and then
you weren't asking people. You weren't asking people to come watch it. They just happened to watch it. Somebody from William Morris just happened to watch it.
Yeah, it was really like we had no idea what we were doing.
Okay.
My parents had nothing to do with the industry. I didn't know anybody who had. Well, my uncle actually is in the industry, but I didn't really know him when I was a kid. Growing up. Yeah. And he's got huge muscles, and he's the most handsome man.
Oh, man, okay.
Yeah, I have a super handsome uncle. Yeah. And so we didn't know what to do. So we would walk around we made like these flyers, and we would walk around Austin and just hand out flyers trying to get people to come to the movie. And so some people came, and it did well at the festival, and that moment of like those tadpole like movies had passed.
Yeah.
But we still managed to sell it to IFC. It was the worst deal ever. It was IFC and Blockbuster Video was the deal, and Blockbuster Video went bankrupt like a week after we signed the contract. We couldn't even get a lawyer to rep us, so
Really?
we made the deal. Oh no, a divorce lawyer from Orlando. A divorce lawyer from Orlando.
That's the movie right there.
Oh my God. Us like trying to figure out how to do this stuff would be a great movie, because it's just, you have no idea. There's no like instructions.
Okay, so William Morris
So that got
says,
us out to LA. It took us about a year to get out, more or less, but that got us out to Los Angeles. And then, what happened in Los Angeles? I've been here for a long time.
Okay, what year did you get here?
2006.
When did you do the first season of Drunk History?
2014.
What was there a lot of stuff going on between then?
Yeah, we came out here trying to get a movie made, this time travel movie that we had written, and we had another movie too. We had a couple of movies.
So you always got something cooking.
We were always writing and always working on stuff. We were always trying to make our own stuff, but nothing was happening.
Here's a good payoff. I'm not saying this isn't boring or anything like that. I'm just saying this is a good payoff to this whole journey. But go ahead.
Yeah, Adam is the next president of the United States. The long and short of it is that we went through the recession, the Great Recession. So we couldn't get a movie
the
financed.
Great Recession.
Yeah, I couldn't get a job. I was like still killing people and selling drugs on television.
Sure.
But that was it. Like I never was getting pilots or anything. And so we started shooting these web series where I played a drunken Superman. And those kind of helped us.
I love it already. I wish I could see that.
Oh yeah, it's out there.
I want to see it.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
It's called Clint Has a Dream.
Okay.
And it started as a Halloween costume, and it came from the frustration of no one is giving us a job. No one cares about what we've written. No one cares about anything we're doing. So you're constantly, I think, forcing people to pay attention, and you have to. We've had to. And so we did.
Wait, Adam, I'm sorry to stop you right there. The frustration thing. So many great things come from the frustration part in your life, right?
Yeah, sure.
But it depends if you're willing to if you get so frustrated that you're going to do something about it, or so frustrated you don't do anything about it.
Absolutely.
So you've always done something about it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my brother and I are the same in that we sort of, this is the only thing that we do, and so if someone is not letting us do it, we're just doing it, even if we're not getting paid to do it.
That's awesome.
But it's easy. I mean, I think that's the biggest lesson I would take from that is that if you enjoy doing it, then it's great no matter what's happening. I mean, I look back at the times where we were struggling so much doing web series or whatever and broke, and that was the most fun. That was just as fun as anything that's happening now. Because we were just making stuff and creating. So the long and short of it is that we did that. We directed a bunch of music videos. We were just kind of trying to.
What was the biggest music video you directed?
I think it was probably Almost Lover by A Fine Frenzy. This singer, Alison Sudol, who's great. She's really a great actress as well.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah.
Band of Robbers.
Band of Robbers. So Band of Robbers came from all this frustration. We had sold maybe 2 or 3 TV shows, comedy shows that we developed and didn't get shot, didn't go to pilot. And so we were going to do Band of Robbers as a series. And Band of Robbers.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so it was going to be Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn as grown-ups.
When you first told me about it, I loved what you just said, a modern-day Huckleberry Finn. What is it?
Yeah, it was Tom and Huck are grown-ups, but they're small-time criminals. And, and
love
it's
it.
Current day. And so, but it's very true to the source material. Huge fan of the books, and so that they're very closely tied to those. So that was going to be a TV thing, but we just we had just gone through like 8 years of development and people not, just like things not happening. So we're going to do what we did with our $18,000 movie, and we're just going to figure out how to make it. So we did so many different things to try to make this movie. I heard this story about Warren Beatty where I think it was Heaven Can Wait, where he went and met with the chairman of the studio and was like, here's this movie I want to do. And the chairman was like, no, I don't think that's for us. And Warren Beatty on the way out of the studio popped into every office saying, yeah, you greenlit it, we're going to make the movie. And so it got into the trades, and it would have been such an embarrassment for the studio to walk it back that they like made the movie. Now that may be a bullshit story, I don't know.
Let's keep it. I like it.
I love it.
Me too.
And so we would go around and say we have like $200,000 and we just needed a little bit more to shoot the movie. And we didn't have any money.
See, this is what I love.
But lying is bad. Lying is bad. Because I mean, it didn't work quickly, but it did get to this point to where like another company finally.
Whose idea was that, by the way? I'm not saying you lied, but whose idea was to say we have backing when there was no backing?
Well, so basically, there was a school in Orlando that was like, you can use our equipment. Okay. And you can use some of the locations around the school. And we were like, okay, that's equivalent to $200,000.
Okay, I like your thinking.
Yeah,
okay.
Maybe it was more like 5,000. I don't know.
Right.
But it was a good start. It was like a start. And so ultimately, though, it was a company coming in and doing that for real that became our first 200,000. They really propelled it. And once there was real money, then everyone else kind of get sort of fear of missing out.
Yeah, dude. Yes.
That have you already talked to and stuff, and so they so people started coming in, and we started prep on that movie with half the budget, I think. And I had like my father-in-law had put money in it, my friend had put money in it, and so we went to our main producer and we're like, we need to halt production because we don't have enough money, and I can't spend their money if we don't have it. So at that point, I'm like going back on like this sort of Tom Sawyer way of doing things. I'm starting to go like, no, this is really real. This is like family money. No, we can't do this. And the producer was like, just keep going. And he ended up bringing in the rest of the money himself.
Do you use this producer today?
Well, no, we can't. We couldn't bring producers onto our current job.
Okay.
Yeah. But
I was just wondering if you collected players along the way.
Oh my gosh, I love everyone we've worked with, and I hope to work with them again. We're in a special situation with this job since we're the guys who haven't done it before. The studio insists on surrounding us with people who have.
Makes total sense. Yeah. Makes total sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so see, the thing I like about you, Adam, is that you always make projects. When I hear about them, I'm like, dang, dude, that sounds good. Dang, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, so you make it.
We make it.
You make it. Tell me about it. Tell me about
experience.
It. Really?
Oh, it was amazing.
Why was it the greatest experience?
Because we were making something.
Okay.
Because it wasn't being in development. It wasn't telling your friends you're going to make something. It wasn't just the sitting alone and writing for years and feeling like no one's reading what you're writing. We were driving to Barstow, and there was 75 people there helping you make a movie, and everyone was happy and believed in it, and it was the best. It was to this point the most satisfying creative experience for me.
Have you ever seen the movie Fandango?
No.
Please watch Fandango. The ending to that reminds me of your movie that you just described.
Can you get movie tickets out of that movie?
No, you cannot. It's Fandango. If
you watch the movie, you get tickets to Midsommar or something.
Right.
You can go see Captain Marvel.
No, it's Fandango starring Kevin Costner.
Okay.
It's one of his very first films, but he puts a party together, and all he had was a table. And everybody just started adding to the table. It became bigger and bigger to a beautiful wedding.
That's awesome.
So, all right. That comes out. It gets a lot of hype. I remember seeing a lot of heat from this.
You know what, though? I will say this about Band of Robbers, too. And this is the thing that was so tough, is that I've never gotten a movie that I directed into Sundance or Cannes or Toronto or Berlin or Tribeca. Like, none of those festivals have accepted anything that we've done. And so with Band of Robbers, we've really had the wind knocked out of us, and we were like, no one wants the movie. No one wanted it. We couldn't get an agency to rep it. And felt like we had this movie that was special, and no one wanted it. And so it's a crazy thing, because it's like you are having a child and then going, isn't this a pretty cute baby? And everyone's going, not really. Not really, man. It's not a great baby.
I've seen better.
Yeah, I've seen better babies. Have you seen Clint Culp? And so finally, the Los Angeles Film Festival, which is now ending, they invited us. And we were like, the LA Film Festival, it's great, it's here, but it's not like a prestigious festival.
You would think it would be, because it's not,
and they were amazing to us, and it was the best experience. But just as just letting you in on like how we were feeling at that time, it was like, okay, how do we do this? How do we make something out of this? And so at that time we had learned our lesson a little bit more, and we're really smart about how we positioned it and fighting for certain showings and spending money on getting a publicist and making sure that it gets reviewed, and that type of thing. And so it was really becoming the big movie at a smaller festival where I think one of the crazy things that happened is I guess Scott Rudin saw it somehow. And
a good person to see. People are always seeing your projects, man.
Well, the thing you don't realize is that, or at least I didn't realize coming up, is that there are executives and junior producers at companies that it is their life to try to find who's next, because they're always trying to, that's their job, is who's next, who can we give a movie to, who's like the up and coming person that we can get, because typically what happens is, let's say you're the next Wes Anderson, like Wes Anderson gets his Scott Rudin, and that's it. Wes doesn't work with other people except for here and there other people are coming on, but he works with that producer got him more or less. And so that's why there's a lot of hungry companies out there. And so it got to Scott Rudin, and that started where people started. That's how we got our agents. That's how all kinds of things started happening, where people are like, "Oh, Scott Rudin loves this movie." Which is also, it's all hype. Everything is hype. It's like
that's what this talent is. Smoke and mirrors. Hey, just pull over for 1 second. Are you creating these projects to be a filmmaker, or are you creating these to get work in films? Because you were the star.
Was not going to be in Band of Robbers. Okay. I consider myself a retired actor.
So I want to ask you about that. You became retired by choice, or you just thought, man, I'm really going to focus on this?
It really became a couple things. One was like, people aren't giving me jobs. That will help you to retire quickly. The other was that there isn't time to do both. And so with Band of Robbers, Aaron and I just wanted to focus on making the movie with him, and we wanted to get a bigger name to play Tom Sawyer. And we weren't finding the right tone. It's a very weird tone, that movie, and we weren't finding someone to capture it. And so I did a reading of it to show, like, this is what it should, what I am intending this to be. And of course, like, I thought, oh, that would be so fun to play this part, but not thinking that it would happen. But then we were getting to the point of, like, is the movie going to get pushed because we don't have an actor? And so Aaron went to bat for me and went to the producers and said, I think.
Did he come and check with you first to say, hey, I'm about to go to bat for you?
He knew that I would love to do
it. So you still wanted to act. So
yes. Especially then. And so we did the movie, and as soon as the producers were amazing. I can't believe that they let me be in the movie. But
you were so great in it, man. Seriously, you still attention. So just to let you know that. But go ahead.
I couldn't believe that the producers let it, but as soon as that happened, I was like, what the hell am I doing? Why am I trying to do this? I should not be in this movie.
Well, I'm glad you did.
And I definitely had a little bit of a panic for a second, but it worked out. But after that, we started getting work, like really getting work, and so it was just like, like I said, there's so much more joy in when you're making your thing.
Yeah.
I love acting, but it is like, I think 99% of the time actors are on stuff they wouldn't watch themselves.
Right.
And so as a filmmaker and a writer, being able to make your stuff I just always feel more fulfilled. And so Aaron and I now depend on each other too, so it's like I can't run off.
Well, that's nice, dude. And plus you wouldn't want to run away from your brother. I mean, that's so magical.
No,
okay.
It's amazing.
So now something big is about to happen to you after Band of Robbers.
I am going through puberty. They said it's normal for it to take this long.
Really?
But
okay.
It's finally happening.
Okay. We'll talk about that later.
Okay, all right. You don't want to get personal.
No, exactly. Tell me about the big booking or the big twist here.
So Aaron and I got hired to write and direct Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe by Columbia Pictures, is that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
a He-Man movie. Yeah.
Dude, Columbia Pictures, that's old school Hollywood, man.
It is some of the great Lawrence of Arabia.
Yes, and it is Mattel backing it up. I mean, this is not just some little project that, hey, let's grab a couple of guys and have them make it. This is a big deal.
Right. Yeah, it is.
Tell me about that, and then to blow your mind, tell me.
Okay. The jump from Band of Robbers to Masters is obviously crazy. But I think because of all of these years of doing all this stuff ourselves has prepared us for this. And part of it is that Aaron, he learned how to do visual effects to pay his bills while we were struggling as filmmakers. So Aaron can make, a CG character and animate it and put them in a movie and do all that on his own right now from home.
Awesome.
So what really started this for us is that out of Band of Robbers, we signed with these great agents, and they believed in us as guys who could make big movies. And because we grew up on Steven Spielberg and Back to the Future, I love those kinds of movies. Big movies for everybody.
Yes.
And so they believed in us in that zone, and so they sent us on this meeting for Bumblebee, the Transformers movie, and we thought it was a writing meeting. So we came up with a pitch for the entire movie. So we come in and we're pitching this this Bumblebee movie, and the producer's like, well, we have a script. The movie's written. This is we're meeting with you guys as directors, basically. And we're like, oh yeah, we know, we know.
Yeah, we know.
But this is like a different idea in case the other script gets lost or something. I don't know. And so it ended up being this great meeting because we had thought so much about it. And we kind of moved up the chain of the meetings where they would take us in front of the studio and we talk, and we realized we were like, we're never going to get this job because we're the guys who just made it this indie. How though, in this moment where people are paying attention, can we capitalize on this? And so we killed ourselves and made this 3-minute short film with a CG Bumblebee and Aaron's daughter.
Right, I just saw it, by the way. It's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome.
And so we made this short film where it was kind of, on the one hand, we're trying to show, look, we understand the CG side of it and this bigger movie side of it, but really that's kind of just smoke and mirrors to try to get them to see that you can tell a really sweet story in a very short amount of time.
And you absolutely delivered that.
Oh, thank you.
What I saw, you delivered everything like that. But wait, before you go on, I want to ask a question. You said you guys killed it to make this happen. Define killed it to me. Tell me about the work that you guys had to put in for a short. I just want to know what it takes out there.
So Aaron first wanted to see, can I make a Bumblebee? So you can't buy a Bumblebee model because it's proprietary, and so he had to make a Bumblebee from scratch. So he made a CG Bumblebee, and
how many hours has this taken him?
That's a couple days of him doing that.
Okay.
And then so we have that. We're like, this looks great, so we can do this. So we send it to our agents and to the producers at the studio and stuff, and say, we're going to make this Bumblebee short, so don't hire anybody. And so now everyone's going, okay, well, yeah, let's see it. That's pretty cool looking, but they're not that impressed because they make Bumblebee, so they don't really care if some guy can make Bumblebee.
Yeah.
They're just like, okay, cool. That's not going to be your job. It's a directing job.
Right.
And so, but we're just saying, wait. So then we write this script. We just write it in one day, and then we start prepping. We hire everybody. It's like 10 people, everyone pretty much working for free. And then we shot it in one day. Overnight with help of friends and family, and it's Aaron's daughter in it, and just like a lot of people from Band of Robbers helping out, and then really what happened is like we finished, we wrapped, and we edited in 2 hours basically, and then so we had to start doing the CG and getting Bumblebee into the story, and so that was. Really, a lot of it was on Aaron, and it was like 17-hour days for a week to try to get this thing ready. And we would just sit in his office, like eyes bleeding, and it would like glitch, or there'd be a problem. We're like, it's not gonna be ready. Our agents are calling us, going, "Where is it? Where is it?"
Are you guys perfectionists? Do you not let anything slide?
Well, I mean, to a certain degree, but definitely aware of the fact that. The head of Paramount's going to watch this. Lorenzo de Bonaventura is going to watch this. Steven Spielberg is going to watch this. Like, all of these people are going to watch this, so it better be fucking good. You can't have, like, a bad frame.
Right.
And
okay.
So we get it done at, like, 4 a.m. one morning when they're like, it's got to be tomorrow because they wanted to hire this other guy. And so we send it, and then all of a sudden the studio's calling Regis going, I think it's the NEEs, and it became this thing, and then it went on. There's a lot of other things that happened. We shot other stuff. We made another thing, and it's funny, I remember our agent telling us, like, we made this short and everyone was like, okay. And we got to read the script and we got brought in really to have a shot at this job. And then he was like, now you need to make something else. Because in Hollywood, like, people, forget after 24 hours. So you need to make something else. So we made this huge previs action sequence. Like, anyways, but that campaign for that movie is truly, I think, what changed our careers, because we didn't get the movie. J.J. Abrams saw the short and he offered us a blind deal.
What's a blind deal?
He's like, let's find a movie together.
Okay, I mean, obviously I know that, but is it...
You bring 3 ideas, we'll bring 3 ideas. If one of them works, here's the amount of money you'll get paid.
Okay,
we'll go do this.
Awesome.
If
okay.
none of them work, then you guys can go do whatever you want. You're not held
Okay,
anymore.
awesome.
And so, but we had this script that we really believed in that we sent to him, and they ended up just buying that movie. And so we developed that, and then we pitched on this Men in Black movie, and we had a show at Amazon.
The one that just came out?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what got us in at Columbia, where I think we were close on that project, and they didn't feel safe with us on that. But then because of the campaign we did for that, they were like, what would you think about Masters of the Universe? And that started that process. So that was that's like the long-winded way of...
I love it. I love it. I'm so excited for you, man. Like I said, I've always been a big fan of yours, and so much so I was jealous of you at the very beginning of hearing about you. I know.
How are you jealous of
there's only certain people that there's only like 3 or 4 people that I've ever been jealous of. You're one of them. I don't know. Your humor's dead on. The way you wear a hat.
And I only wear this hat because you.
Okay. All right. Listen. So, where are you? You don't need to tell me everything, but where are you guys in making this movie right now?
We've been prepping,
okay.
and we're doing some script work and some, just the prep that you do, and it's a long prep because it's a huge movie, and we shoot beginning of next year.
Do you wake up at 3:00 in the morning going, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into?
No.
Or do you I cannot believe I get to do this? What is it?
Neither. I think once you have the job, it just becomes so real, and we've been on it for over a year now.
Really?
Yeah, because we wrote the first 3 drafts of it ourselves, and so we've been on it for a while. We did preliminary art early on, so it's been a process, and it just becomes...
And this is a common thing, right, in Hollywood, to take this long?
Oh yeah, especially for this kind of movie, like a sort of a tentpole kind of beginning of a new franchise. And so it's, I feel like it's like this with any job where it's that moment of wonder and oh my God goes away so quickly because it becomes your job really quickly, and you just have stuff to do all the time. Which we don't really have that much to do because it is a shot-for-shot remake of the 1987 film.
Really?
Yes, shot-for-shot.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I think didn't you kind of post something like that on your social media one time?
I don't know.
Okay.
Check it out on social media.
Any advice you have to a filmmaker out there who's kind of put in a lot of work and done everything he possibly could?
Well,
and you know what? I'm going to hang on a second.
Yeah.
Who's not an up-and-comer? That's where you have a great advantage. You hadn't been around. They didn't know you, so they were interested because you were an up-and-comer. Isn't that more attractive to Hollywood?
Yeah, but I'm not that young. I mean, if you really think about it, I moved to New York and started pursuing this stuff and made my first movie when I was 22 and started moving to New York when I was 20. I'm 37. I didn't have a dollar to my name probably until I was about 34, 35.
Okay.
I have been poor and struggling for 15 years before, Band of Robbers is really what changed it. But I went $40,000 in credit card debt to make Band of Robbers. I didn't make any money on that movie. So I came out of Band of Robbers, and the first job we got out of that, all of the money I got paid pretty much went towards paying off credit card debt and catching back up in life. And I think...
Those were always cool stories in Hollywood, like the Robert Townsend story when he made Hollywood Shuffle. He put it all on credit cards.
Yeah.
I love that story. I don't know why, but that's cool.
And I know that there's that story, and that story could reverse on me again. The fortunes of this town are so nebulous, and it definitely you definitely have moments. You have moments that are where you're hot, and then you're gonna have moments where you're cold. Even
Yeah.
the biggest and the best have moments where you're cold. And so I may go into do that again someday, where I go into debt to make a movie I want to make. I hope I don't, but I might. I just feel like if you have to do this, if it is what you love and you can pull it off with your life, it's like an endurance test. It just seems like the only way that you don't get to do it is if you stop. And so I don't know. I feel like if I was talking to me, young Adam in New York, there's a couple things I would say. I would say go to class, like go to acting class. You're not the best. Go to a writing class. You're not the best. Because like I said, I was like this kid who like had this confidence, but also this. It was just such a this naive child, and no one had told me about the industry at all. So I just feel like I didn't know what to do, and I would kind of like bang down doors, but didn't really have the goods then.
Right.
I hadn't learned anything yet, and so I feel like just improving your craft, always get better. If you're not doing anything, get better. Like even just, I mean, as a filmmaker, like getting into photography, like it sounds so stupid, but it's just like anything you can do to be improving, and then just keep making stuff. You know?
I love all of that. Do you have J.J. Abrams' number on your phone?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Adam, you just gave the perfect interview, so thank you so much.
Clint,
You did.
All right, that was a good first take. Let's do
Okay,
one
we're going to do this one more time, guys.
One more time, and you won't know which one you saw.
Okay. Adam, seriously, I'm going to tell you this. We're going to wind it down. I'm excited for you. I've always been excited for you, but I'm really excited for you. When every time like I said, when I hear something about you and what you're doing, you're always doing something that piques my interest.
Oh,
So I reached out to you a long time ago to do this. I'm so glad that the time has happened and this happened.
I'm honored to be asked.
Well, Adam, do me one last favor?
Anything.
We tell everybody out there bye.
Goodbye.